If you're constantly out of gas and desperate for air, the problem isn't your breathing, it's that you're using too much oxygen. If you want to get your breathing under control, you need to move through the water in a way that uses less oxygen. Without fixing this problem, you're always going to be gasping for air. Hi, this is Andrew Sheaf with Mastering Flow. I help you dramatically improve your swimming by providing simple, actionable strategies that you can implement today, all without the need for in-person coaching. I believe that anyone can improve in all areas of life, and all that it takes is the right guidance. Let's get better. Ever ride a bike when the tires are low? Or ever ride a bike in the sand? What happens? It's harder. A lot harder. No matter how much you improve your fitness, no matter how much you improve your bike fitting, no matter how much you improve your mechanics, it's always going to be hard. There's no way around it. The only solution is to get the tires fixed or get on solid ground. In the water, when triathletes are struggling with their breathing, they assume it's a problem with their breathing mechanics, or they assume they're just out of shape. While they may be right, these two issues aren't causing the problem, they're just making it worse. They're not the real problem. The real problem is moving through the water like a barge. The real problem is legs sinking in the water. The real problem is feeling like you have to kick to prevent the legs from sinking. The legs use a ton of oxygen. And if you're using a ton of oxygen, it's going to be nearly impossible to improve your endurance. You're simply using too much energy. Fortunately, it's completely unnecessary. Your legs don't have to sink. Keeping them up is a skill. It's all about body position. If you can improve your body position, you can get your legs back up on the surface of the water. That means you'll use a lot less energy and you'll be able to swim a lot longer. It's just like getting your bike tires pumped back up. It's way easier. I'm going to show you how to improve your body position and get your legs up at the surface so you can get your breathing under control. Once you do, anything becomes possible. I've talked about these skills before, and I'm talking about them here. Why? Because they are that important to everything you do in the water. Without them, progress is going to be much more difficult. Take the time and develop a foundation for the future. Here's the simple solution. Step 1 is learn to float. If you can learn to float without any effort, eventually you can learn to move through the water without any effort. This is simple. Get a big breath, grab your knees, pull them to your chest, then relax. It may take a little time to settle, but you should settle in the water near or at the surface. Without any effort, you're floating. The key awareness you're trying to build is how to feel the lungs holding you in the water. Once you can feel them, you can learn to leverage them, which we'll learn how to do soon enough. The other key skill is learning total relaxation. If you can learn to relax in the water, you can really reduce how much oxygen you use, which means much more effective breathing. To get this sense of total relaxation, you're going to let go of the ball and see what happens. Just totally relax. Your legs are going to sink, and that's okay. However, you'll still be at the surface. The key is complete relaxation. For the first time, you may find yourself totally at ease in the water. Congrats. It's from this position that you'll be able to create better body position. Step 2, learn to press. Once you know how to float and you can feel the flotation, it's time to take advantage of it. Your lungs are holding you up at the surface. If you can learn to press into the lungs, you can learn to pop the hips up. It's just like a seesaw. Press down on one side and the other side comes up. Here, you want to press the head and the chest down to get the hips up to the surface. You may have to press a little or you may have to press a lot. It doesn't matter. Do what you have to do to get the hips to pop up. Learn how to change your position by creating pressure with the head and the chest. This is the next big step for helping you get your legs up at the surface. For some, this might be all it takes. Once you get the hang of it while floating, you can do the same thing while swimming. The key is to start too high and end too low. That way, you're guaranteed to find a position that works for you at some point along the way. The best position you'll find is one that lets the hips come up to the surface and avoids burying your head. Everyone's going to be a little bit different, so figure out what works best for you and be consistent in executing it. Step 3 is learn to lever. You've learned how to float and you've learned how to press to create leverage on your lungs, getting the hips up to the surface. However, for some, that's not enough. You'll need another level of skill. You have to learn to pull the legs up to the surface. By squeezing the muscles of the back and the hips, you can get the legs up. This is the opposite of kicking down to get the hips up, which is really tiring and doesn't really work. Here's how to do it. Start in the ball float and get settled. Then open the ball up while trying to maintain your position in the water. Slowly move your limbs into the position of an X. If you find that you're losing your position, just go to the ball and start again. The goal is to get to the X position and be relatively stable in the water. However, what you're really learning to do is create control and tension in your back so you can maintain position in the water. Everyone's going to float a little bit differently, so the final position isn't really as important as the intent. It's the intent that matters. It's actually easier to maintain good body position when you're swimming as opposed to doing these drills. So if you're doing okay with these drills, that means you'll be able to do really well while swimming. However, the drills show you what to do. Rather than aim for perfection, strive for progress. If you can achieve it, you're almost certain to improve your position in the water. Now, how do you put this into practice? It's simple. Perform these drills in between repetitions of your normal workout. About 10 seconds or so between repetitions can make a big difference. Whatever you feel during the drills is what you want to feel during the swim. Sooner than later, you'll start integrating what you learn in the drills into your swimming. That means you'll use less oxygen, and that means better breathing, which means more endurance and faster swimming. Getting your body position in check is the first important step, but if you want to improve your breathing technique, you need the information in this video. Go check it out. I'll see you there. Keep it simple and keep getting better.